what we have here is a clay tablet. As a matter of fact, it is a real clay tablet, so it's very delicate.
Hidden beneath the sands of ancient Babylon for over 3,700 years, an unassuming clay tablet held a secret so powerful it could rewrite history itself.
Holding a tablet that was written thousands of years ago and being able to read what it says, it's an amazing feeling.
This wasn't a royal decree or a mundane record. This was a mathematical marvel, and it took cutting-edge AI technology to uncover its true meaning. What was this knowledge, and why was it buried in time? Tonight, we unravel the terrifying truth behind Plimpton 322 and what it reveals about the lost genius of ancient civilizations.
A mathematician generating all these rectangles and then analyzing them to see which ones have regular sign. Plimpton 322 arguably fits into this category.
In the scorching heat of southern Iraq, at the edge of ancient Babylon, an American archaeologist named Edgar J. Banks made a discovery that seemed insignificant at first. It was a broken clay tablet, the size of a modern paperback book, with only tiny wedge-shaped markings known as cuneiform. It didn't look like much. Chipped at the edges, with no ornate carvings or illustrations, it was easily overlooked. But what Banks didn't know was that this piece of clay, which he would later sell for a few dollars, would change the course of history. The tablet made its way into the hands of George Arthur Plimpton, a wealthy collector, and eventually found its place at Columbia University, where it became part of the university's vast collection of ancient artifacts. For decades, it sat quietly, labeled Plimpton 322, a name that revealed nothing of its incredible potential. Scholars glanced at it, dismissed it, and moved on. To them, it was just another Babylonian record, possibly listing trade goods, temple offerings, or even rations. But that was only the surface. As the years passed, the tablet continued to sit in obscurity, until in the 1940s, a few keen-eyed historians and mathematicians started to notice something strange. The numbers etched onto the tablet didn't seem random. There was a pattern, an arrangement that hinted at something far more sophisticated than simple record-keeping. Right-angled triangles. The very foundation of geometry was hidden in those cuneiform symbols. But with large sections of the tablet damaged by time, the full picture remained elusive. Then, something incredible happened. Decades after the tablet was discovered, a mathematician from Australia, Daniel Mansfield, stumbled upon a photograph of Plimpton 322 while working on a school curriculum. Something about the layout, the symmetry of the numbers, pulled him in. It was like a puzzle begging to be solved. But Mansfield knew that to unlock the secrets of the tablet, he needed more than just a hunch. He needed AI. He teamed up with colleague Norman Wildberger at the University of New South Wales and began feeding the tablet's numbers into machine learning algorithms trained on ancient Babylonian mathematics. The AI's job was simple, yet extraordinary. Analyze the numbers, compare them to other Babylonian artifacts, and reconstruct the missing sections. But the result was anything but simple. As the algorithms pieced together the broken tablet, what emerged was shocking. The numbers weren't just part of a random record. They were a precise, deliberate mathematical system, far more advanced than anyone had ever imagined. It wasn't just the foundation of trigonometry. It was an entirely different approach to math, one that had been forgotten for millennia.
But the true significance was still to come. What if the Babylonians were not only familiar with Pythagorean theorem, but had discovered a form of trigonometry that was more precise and advanced than what we use today? As the AI decoded more sections of the tablet, it started to look like the Babylonians weren't just tracking numbers. They were using them to build the world around them. And that was just the beginning. What they discovered next would shake the foundations of history. What was the true purpose behind the mathematical marvel of Plimpton 322? Did the Babylonians have knowledge that would push the boundaries of our understanding of ancient civilizations? Stay tuned, because what comes next will change everything. As the AI continued to reconstruct the tablet, something extraordinary emerged. What initially appeared to be a collection of simple numbers began to reveal a sophisticated system of mathematics, one that wasn't just about recording data, but about solving real-world problems. The more they decoded, the clearer it became that these numbers weren't random. They were designed to represent Pythagorean triples, a set of three whole numbers that satisfy the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. In modern terms, this is known as Pythagoras' theorem, a key element in geometry. But here's the twist. The Babylonians had discovered this thousands of years before Pythagoras even lived. What's more, they had organized these triples into a methodical sequence, one that allowed for calculations without the need for modern tools. The system was mathematically flawless. No approximations, no rounding errors, just pure precision. But the implications didn't end there. Unlike modern trigonometry, which measures angles and uses sine and cosine, the Babylonians approached mathematics through ratios, simple yet perfect proportions. This allowed them to calculate dimensions and alignments with an accuracy that rivaled and in some cases surpassed modern methods. What were the Babylonians using this remarkable system for? The answer would reveal a startling truth about the ancient world. Could the ancient Babylonians have been using this advanced system not just for science, but for control? What secrets did they hide in plain sight? The next revelation will leave you questioning everything. The discovery of Plimpton 322 was more than just a triumph of mathematics. It was a glimpse into the everyday workings of an ancient civilization, one that may have used this advanced mathematical knowledge for much more than architecture. As researchers dug deeper into the reconstructed tablet, it became clear that these mathematical systems weren't created purely for academic purposes. They were tools of precision, designed to solve real-world problems. One of the most significant revelations came with the discovery of another ancient tablet, CIT 427, which dated back to roughly the same era as Plimpton 322. Unlike Plimpton 322, CIT 427 didn't contain rows of numbers. It was a surveying map, a diagram with lines and measurements clearly marking the proportions of land. This wasn't a theoretical exercise. It was a practical application of the very same mathematical knowledge that Plimpton 322 contained. Through this connection, it became apparent that the Babylonians used their advanced understanding of geometry to settle legal disputes over land ownership. In fact, these mathematical principles were likely involved in property rights, helping to divide and assign land with exactitude. The implications were profound. This wasn't just science. It was a framework of control. The system of measuring land with absolute precision wasn't just revolutionary. It was a means of exerting influence over resources that were essential for survival in ancient Babylon. If this advanced math was used to regulate land and resources, what else might the Babylonians have been controlling with their knowledge? The truth behind their power could be even more unsettling than we imagined. Stay tuned for the next revelation. The discovery of CIT 427, the Babylonian surveying map, wasn't just a glimpse into the practical use of mathematics. It revealed a systematic approach to governance that relied heavily on mathematical precision. By using ratios and geometric measurements, the Babylonians could define borders, divide land, and even settle disputes with an accuracy that was unheard of for the time. This method wasn't just about creating fairness in legal matters. It was about consolidating power. In a civilization where access to land and water determined survival, the ability to precisely measure and assign ownership was empowering. The knowledge embedded in these tablets was a tool of authority, allowing the rulers to control not just the physical world, but the very structure of society.
In this sense, the Babylonians weren't merely solving math problems. They were using their mathematical prowess to shape their world. These ancient systems were embedded in the fabric of Babylonian life, used in everything from temple construction to economic transactions, and most disturbingly, to maintain the balance of power. But if this mathematics was a cornerstone of their empire, could it also have been used for something more ominous? Was there something else at play in Babylon, hidden in the shadows of their mathematical genius? What other dark truths could be lurking beneath the surface of Babylonian society? Did their knowledge go beyond governance and into something far more sinister? The next discovery will bring us even closer to the heart of their secrets. As the AI continued to reveal more of the Plimpton 322 tablet, something truly unsettling began to emerge. The precision of the Babylonians' mathematical knowledge was not just a testament to their intellectual capability. It was a window into a lost world, a world where advanced knowledge had the power to change everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. But what if that knowledge was not only advanced for its time, it was lost to history? The shocking part is that the Babylonians weren't the only ones in their understanding of these mathematical systems. Similar techniques may have existed in other ancient cultures. And as research into Babylonian tablets continues, new AI models are uncovering fragments of knowledge that had once been buried by time, war, and even the deliberate erasure of history. The destruction of ancient libraries like the Library of Alexandria and the fall of civilizations could have wiped out what could have been the foundations of modern science.
Imagine for a moment, if ancient civilizations had access to this level of mathematical sophistication, what else did they know? What other advanced technologies or knowledge do they possess that has been lost, buried, or ignored by modern historians? The idea that we might have missed entire sections of human intellectual history is terrifying. And yet, every day, new AI tools are being developed to decode more fragments. And with each new tablet, the possibility grows that more secrets will be unlocked. Secrets that could alter the course of history once again. If these fragments of knowledge are just the tip of the iceberg, what could the rest of the ancient world be hiding? What technologies, wisdom, or mysteries have we forgotten over millennia? Prepare for a discovery that could rewrite everything. As the AI continued to decode and reconstruct these ancient texts, it became increasingly clear that the knowledge of the Babylonians and potentially many other ancient civilizations wasn't just sophisticated, it was fundamental to our understanding of mathematics and science. For centuries, we've credited the Greeks with laying the groundwork for geometry and trigonometry. Figures like Pythagoras and Euclid have been hailed as the fathers of these fields. But the revelations from Plimpton 322 suggest that the Babylonians, over 1,000 years before the Greeks, were already using principles that formed the core of these mathematical concepts. This is not a minor shift, it's a fundamental change in how we view intellectual history. If the Babylonians were using Pythagorean triples and applying them to real-world problems like land measurement, construction, and legal systems, then the Greeks may not have been the first to discover these principles at all. They may have simply rediscovered them much later, building upon the knowledge of a much older civilization. But what does this mean for modern science? For generations, we've been taught that mathematics developed in a linear progression, from simple concepts to the more complex theories of the Enlightenment and beyond. But what if that progression is a myth? What if certain knowledge didn't develop gradually, but in bursts, only to be lost in the chaos of war, empire collapses, and the ravages of time? Could we be missing vital pieces of humanity's intellectual legacy? Pieces that might be hidden in the hundreds of thousands of untouched ancient tablets still waiting to be decoded? As the AI uncovers more, we're forced to ask, what else could these ancient civilizations have known that we have forgotten? The implications are staggering. If these civilizations were truly ahead of their time,
Could there be more knowledge, more dangerous truths still waiting to be unearthed? The next breakthrough may push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Stay tuned. The more researchers uncovered about the Babylonian mathematical system, the more it became evident that their influence stretched far beyond basic arithmetic or geometry. The precision they achieved in their calculations was essential not only for building structures like temples and canals, but for ensuring the stability of their empire. The Babylonians, with their base 60 system and exact proportions, had unlocked a form of architectural magic capable of creating large-scale projects with perfect accuracy. But this wasn't just about creating impressive structures. The Babylonian approach was optimized for functionality. Mathematics was practical, a tool for solving the everyday challenges of life. Surveying land, measuring the flow of rivers, and building roads and canals were all influenced by their sophisticated mathematical knowledge. This enabled them to plan for things we take for granted today: water distribution, land ownership, and even political power. In fact, this knowledge didn't just allow the Babylonians to build their empire, it allowed them to control it. The ability to measure land and resources with absolute precision gave their rulers unparalleled power. Those who controlled the knowledge of mathematics held the keys to governance and wealth. It wasn't just about architecture, it was about dominance over the physical world, from the smallest parcel of land to the most monumental construction projects.
But what if this powerful knowledge wasn't unique to Babylon? What if other civilizations, now lost to time, once shared similar systems of control, hidden in the shadow of forgotten mathematical achievements? If this hidden knowledge shaped empires, what else could it unlock if recovered today? Was there a reason these secrets were buried? Stay with us, because the next chapter in this ancient puzzle is about to reveal something even more extraordinary. The more we uncover about the Babylonians' mathematical mastery, the more we begin to realize that their genius wasn't isolated. The world may have seen their civilization as one of mystical and arcane knowledge, but in reality, the Babylonians were part of a much larger web of ancient intellectual discovery, one that stretches across lost civilizations whose achievements are now buried in the sands of time. As we decode more Babylonian tablets, we begin to see patterns emerge. These systems weren't just about geometry. They were interconnected, influencing astronomy, engineering, and even medicine. What if these principles weren't exclusive to Babylon? What if they spread to other ancient cultures, influencing them in ways we haven't even begun to trace? Could it be that other civilizations like the Sumerians, Indus Valley, or ancient Egyptians also possessed lost knowledge, perhaps similar in complexity or even more advanced? We know that ancient Egypt had remarkable architectural feats and mathematical precision in the construction of the pyramids, yet there's no recorded evidence of how they achieved these seemingly impossible feats. Could this Babylonian influence have helped guide the Egyptians, or were these discoveries made in parallel but tragically lost over time? We also know that the Greek philosophers, often hailed as the pioneers of geometry and astronomy, were influenced by earlier cultures whose records were either destroyed or never fully understood. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the lost mathematical systems of these civilizations were essential tools in guiding the course of history. If these secrets were shared across ancient empires, what knowledge might still lie hidden in the archives of the world's forgotten civilizations? Are there other tablets buried beneath centuries of dust, waiting to be decoded? The next chapter will answer this unsettling question. Stay tuned. While the world's attention has been fixed on the groundbreaking revelations of Plimpton 322, there's a hidden truth that remains largely unexamined: the thousands of ancient tablets still waiting to be unlocked. Across the globe, in museum vaults and university collections, the ancient tablets are cataloged and stored, but they are not always analyzed. These silent archives could hold untold knowledge that has yet to be deciphered.
Some experts believe that we are only scratching the surface. Cuneiform, the script used by the Babylonians and other ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, is incredibly complex. It requires years of specialized training to fully interpret, and even then, some tablets are so damaged or incomplete that we may never know their full meaning. But now, with the help of artificial intelligence, these untold stories are on the verge of being unlocked at an unprecedented rate.
Imagine what might lie in these untouched tablets. What discoveries are still hidden in plain sight? Some researchers believe that these archives could contain ancient engineering manuals, astronomical charts, or even medical texts that reveal knowledge lost to history. These documents could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. The implications are staggering. If Plimpton 322's revelations were just the beginning, what else could AI uncover from these ancient sources? Could the next breakthrough reveal a scientific discovery or technological advancement that's far beyond what we've believed ancient cultures were capable of? If AI could unlock the secrets of Plimpton 322, what could it uncover in the thousands of untold tablets still locked away in archives around the world? The next discovery could rewrite history as we know it. What are we about to uncover next? As the digital restoration of Plimpton 322 continues to unfold, more than just mathematical knowledge is coming to light. The implications of these ancient discoveries extend far beyond mathematics. They touch on our understanding of human history, knowledge transmission, and even lost civilizations. What if ancient societies were capable of far more than we've ever realized? The most unsettling aspect of this is the question of what's been lost. Every fragment we uncover seems to open the door to new possibilities, to ideas and technologies we never suspected ancient peoples could have mastered. But for every tablet decoded, there are countless others that remain untouched, their knowledge still hidden away in archives and museum shelves around the world. If ancient Babylon, with its precision in surveying and its advanced mathematical understanding, was just one example of a forgotten civilization, what other lost knowledge might we find? Could the secrets of the ancient Egyptians, the Maya, or even the Indus Valley civilizations also be waiting to be uncovered, waiting for the right tools and minds to unlock their mysteries? The shocking truth is that as we gain the ability to decode more of these ancient texts, we might come to realize that the history we've learned, the neat, linear progression of human advancement, could be a distorted narrative, hiding centuries of lost progress. If humanity's intellectual history is more complex than we've been taught, what are the true implications of what we've lost? Could we be on the verge of discovering an entirely new chapter in human achievement? What will we find when we uncover the next tablet? Stay tuned, because the hidden truths of the ancient world might be closer than we think.